Hello and welcome to lesson 20 of the Learning Guitar series. In lesson 19 we started to discuss Dorian and we looked at scales and arpeggio, and we looked at this from the point of view of the shape of E minor. So basically this shape, this chord, very well known chord, and of course with a barré we are transposing it in all keys. As usual we had the exercises in G minor, I guess. In this lesson we're going to look at the chords that come with it, and let me show you, as usual you will have a PDF that that comes with it, and this time is kind of packed, even if it would just referring to this, only to this particular shape at this stage. So you have a 4-page PDF of chord shapes that can go with that, and I'm going to show them to you in a second, in more details, and how you can practice this and make the most out of it. First of all, one consideration: Dorian, when we looked at the theory of it in the previous lesson, so if you don't know what I'm talking about for the next 30 seconds to 1 minute, just go back to the lesson and have a look. Is 1, flat 3, 5, flat 7, 9, 11, and 13, if we look at the vertical structure. So when we started the arpeggios, we looked at something that went. Okay? And as a scale, it was 1, 2, flat 3, 4, 5, 6, flat 7, and root note. When it comes to chords, obviously we have the triadic-based chords, so in this case G minor. Actually today I'm going to do everything in A, okay? So you have A minor, and I think we're all familiar with that. Once we start adding embellishments and colors, so once we start adding flat 7 to it, 9, 11 and 13s, we see that with Dorian we have quite a variety of colors and range we can get out of in terms of chord playing, and is one of my favorites from this point of view, because no one extension or no one chord sounds, I don't want to say sound bad, but so you have a lot of chords you can develop and a lot of colors. Now, if we look at the PDF, again, we start with normal chord, and then I'm starting to add variations to it. Here you have a flat 7, here you have like a 13 and a flat 7. The question is more, how do you want to practice this? And I think you should do it in 2 ways. And when we look at the backing track that comes with this video, you'll see where I'm going with this. So first of all, you might want to just practice some of these shapes. You can do it literally with the metronome. I cannot show you myself and the PDF at the same time. At least probably there is a way, but I haven't learned it yet. Sorry. So imagine like I have a metronome, or like a loop, like just a tone. So for example, I can have let's say just an A note. I'm going to use A this time. Okay, I have just a tone, so it gives me a reference. And maybe with the metronome, every 4 you play a different chord. So I'm just going to use the sequence on the PDF, so you see what I mean. So that's A minor. That's the second one. That's the third one. 4. With the 9th. Then there is a series of chords which are made basically of the root note and the last 3 strings, okay? So in this case, if you're using a pick, you'll have to be kind of careful with your muting, because you're basically not using these 2 strings. In this case, personally, I prefer to use fingers to do that, because better controlled. As you can see so far, we don't have a bad sounding chord. I mean, like at least a weird sounding chord. So this is normal root note, flat 3, 5, 1, you'll see all that in the PDF anyway. So you have this. Now with a 6th, with a flat 7, 6 and 9, flat 7 and 9, 11, flat 7 and flat 3, just with a 9. Then you have a block which is 5 notes, 5 strings, so we're only skipping the second one. And the basic form would be 1, flat 7, flat 3, 5, and 1 again. with a sixth. That's the sixth, right? It's right here. With a ninth. Again, if you do some proper muting, you can, you know, like, get away with it. Seven flat nine. Then we have like what we so-called shell chords. So it's basically just 3 notes over 3 strings. 1, flat 7, flat 3 to start from. So you have just this. Then the sixth. 9. And we are at the next page of the PDF. First 4 strings. That's with a 6 and a flat 3. This is already more, you know, stretchy type. With a 4th, so with 11 in the chord. With a 6th. That's always an interesting one. With a 9th. With a 6th here. With a 6 and a 9, bit of a stretch. With a 6 and a flat 3 and 2 root notes. 1, 5, 1 flat 3, 1 flat 7. Now we're using these 3 strings and the root note. 13, flat 7. So as I said, you want to do with the metronome, maybe like, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1. This I got the 5th in the bass. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Etc. As always, you have in the PDF, you can see there is root notes which are like a black dot and root notes which are a white dot. The one with the white dot is just to give you a visual reference of where the root note would be given the shape that we're static. Okay, like I've done in all previous lessons. Let me stop this for a second. So, like I've done in all the previous lesson, as I mentioned before, I'll mention it again for those of you that are seeing this for the first time. I like to subdivide chords into the type of chords I would use if it's, say, like a duo situation, so maybe like just guitar and voice, okay? In which case I need to be able to carry the bass at the same time, so to give you like a full perception of the harmony. It's different instead in a band situation where probably there is a bass player, in which case I don't have to play the root all the time. In the chords, so like now you have these kind of shapes here, and you have many, as you can see, where the root note is not necessarily present. Okay. As you scroll down, you'll see also there is chords on the last 4 strings. These are very common, and you see that's the other root note that you have. And these are very common. Say if you're playing a rhythm guitar, funk music, you know, like so you're staying at the top of the. I'll show you with the. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So it basically is more chords made of like 3 notes, 4 notes. The basic form is this 4 notes. Root note, flat 3, 5, root note. So that's basically another triad, right? And from this we can derive, say with a 6, with a flat 7, with a 9, you know, and there is many more, you know, 1, 4, flat 7, flat 3. There is many. As I said, like, it's hard to find one that sounds bad. So as I said, you have like 4 pages of it, and as I said, a good way to do it is to a metronome. Just kind of read them in a way before you try them with the rhythm. So, like, say now I'm on page 3 again, I think. So it will be something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can get familiar with all of them. I said if you can have a drone in the back, I'm doing it in A actually because even you can use this empty string as a reference even for the chords that don't really have a root note. So you can always have, well, a reference. 3, 4, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4. And these are all minor chords, right? I hope that's clear, right? With 3 strings. 'Kay? Now that's one way you can practice it, so that I'm sure some of this shape will stay with you more than others. Okay. Now another way you might want to practice this is to go back literally to lesson 3, I believe. That's where we studied the shape of E major and the chords. Okay, so we were looking at this shape, probably G major or A major or B major, whatever, just transposing it, and the chords that came with it. So you want to practice basically major to minor. Okay, so maybe have the PDF for the minors on one side, like this one, that you will be able to download this week, and the major next to it, and go back and forth. In a way, this is going to really help you visualizing what the intervals are. What I mean is, say like for example A major, when we studied A major, from this particular shape, the 6th is here, the 9 is here, that's a major 7, that's a flat 7, that's a 6, that's a 9, that's a 4th, and the intervals, they don't change just because now we're doing minor. What's changing from major to minor is the 3rd. Instead of being a major 3, is a flat 3. So we went from this to this, basically. That's all there is to it. And of course, the moment we start adding colors, then we need to know our theory, and we studied that. So the colors I can add to major are 9, 7, major 7, 9, 11, and 13. With 11 being like, sometimes a bit difficult to negotiate sonically. When it comes to minor, we can add the 9, like in major, so it's the same note. So if this is a 9, and it is, this is major 9, major with other 9, and this is minor with other 9. The 9 is still there, it's not going to go anywhere. Same thing for the 6, so 13, we can add a 13 both to Ionian and to Dorian. So that's a simple 1, major 3, 6, and that's the minor version. So it's just a flat 3. Just the 3rd that is moving, okay? So it could be good for you to practice, say, a major and a minor. Major, minor. And you can try different... You can even decide, okay, I'm going to keep one interval fixed. So, for example, the 9. I'm going to do, say, major with a 9, minor with a 9. Okay? Major 7 with a 6 and a 9, minor 7 with a 6 and a 9, right? Or major 7 like this, minor 7 with a flat 7 and a 9. Okay, so in other words, this could be a good exercise for you not only to practice these minor chords that you're learning now, but also combine them, kind of recapping, or if you forgot them, kind of going back to lesson 3 and refresh it. So, as I said, we're going from major to minor, from minor to major. And I created a backing track that you can use. I'm going to upload it in the key of G as usual, that you can use, and I'm going to show it to you in, like, literally at the end of this. And for the backing track is in the key of G. For the advanced supporters in Patreon, make sure you go there and you download it in all 12 keys. Okay. So if you're not a supporter on Patreon, or the advanced lesson archive supporter, you might want to consider that there is some extra content in terms of some extra lessons and backing tracks in all keys that you might find it useful, and at the same time you're helping supporting this particular project of mine. If you can, obviously, the lessons are still free, so the spirit of the project is still kind of intact. Okay, I'm gonna now set up the backing track so I can show you how that works. By the way, the backing track itself, you can use it, this new one, you can use it both to practice major to minor chord wise, and of course you can use it to do major to minor in terms of practicing arpeggios and scales. I'm gonna show you both in an example in a second at the end of this lesson. In the meanwhile, I want to thank you for your support. Thank you for the nice words I'm receiving here and there, comments, and people are writing to me about it, and it's very much appreciated. Of course, if you feel like subscribing to the channel, that's also appreciated. My increase my self-esteem, I guess. So subscribe to the channel if you feel like, support the project on Patreon if you feel like, and anyway, enjoy the lesson. I hope you find it useful. Feel free if you have any suggestion on, I don't know, improvements or something I could do better in your opinion, just let me know. I'm very open-minded. Enjoy practicing, and of course enjoy playing. So use the backing track to actually play. Okay, it's great to do exercises, but at some point trying to make some music. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure as always. Stay tuned. After this, I'm gonna attach an example on how to use the backing track. Okay, bye.
Thank you.